Hey guys, and welcome to this video. I am just here today to talk a little bit about the fear of commitment. I'm going to talk about what it is, where it comes from, and how best to deal with it. How do you know that you're afraid of commitment, and what to do about it when you do? See how it stops you from living your purpose, amongst other things. Because where you've got fear of commitment, it's probably going to be affecting more than one area of your life, not just your relationships, not just your purpose. It's going to be all encompassing, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? So, my name is Emma, and what I do is I help people who know they have a vision of what they want to create, but are holding themselves back from actually taking the steps to make it a reality. So I help them to release the blocks, the fears, the deep emotional wounds that hold them back from fully stepping into and realizing their purpose. And what I've realized in working with the people that I've worked with, and also working with myself, is that a major barrier that stops people from getting what they want in life and stepping into their purpose and really living it is this fear of commitment. And it's really connected to a fear of taking responsibility. They're very much intertwined, I feel. And it's fear of commitment. It's a fear of being burdened. So, oh my God, if I do this, I'll be burdened. I'll be totally engulfed. What'll happen? I'll lose my freedom. So it's a very much avoidant pattern where you choose to avoid things rather than step into them, and you're protecting yourself. It's all about protecting yourself from future pain, which I talked about in another video, I think. So remember, when you have pleasure and pain together, you are always going to choose to keep away from the pain rather than move towards the pleasure. This is the most important thing, because pain could mean survival. So if there's massive pain going on, your subconscious, your mind is just going to run away from that before you go towards any pleasure. So this is a fear of being stuck, a fear of not losing your freedom. What will you do then? And it can lead to a lot of indecision, procrastination. These can be symptoms of it, because you're afraid of making a decision. If I make this decision, then I'll be stuck with that. I won't be able to change it. You can procrastinate. You can put things off, not make decisions. It can be like a fear of exposing yourself. So a lot of these people, when you have a fear of commitment, you are also really reserved. You're hiding your feelings. You're not showing yourself. You're not very open. And you have this fear of freedom, like I talk about. So it's a very dualistic point of view. It's either this or that. I'm either free or I'm a slave. There's no in between. It's a very kind of dualistic way of seeing it. And it's all about control and staying safe. These are the main things. So it's an addiction to security. And it means if you have this fear of commitment, it means it'll be very difficult for you to come out of your comfort zone and do something different. And this means that people who are afraid of commitment very often feel stuck, because the pattern that they have, it's kind of creating this sense that if I do something different, oh my God, I'll be unsafe and it'll be so painful. I won't be able to handle it. I'll lose my freedom. I'll lose my protection. I won't be safe anymore. So this is why we have this fear. So many of us have this fear of committing to something. And where it comes from, it often comes from childhood, where you committed to something, where you did something and it didn't work out, so you have all this disappointment, and then you make this vow or promise to yourself, I'm never going to commit. You can't trust them, you can't trust anyone. So it's really comes down to a failure to trust, an inability to trust. And any kind of trust issue where you're not able to trust other people, what it comes down to is a lack of trust in yourself. Because when you really, really, really trust yourself, you trust your judgment to know if I can trust that person or not. So you undermine the trust in yourself, people who have this fear of commitment. So what I want to say about the fear of commitment, how to deal with it, right, is that you are always, always, always committing to something. With the fear of commitment, you're always trusting in something, you're always committing to something, but you're trusting and committing to something that you don't prefer. So even if that's the idea of sitting in front of Netflix for 10 hours, that's still a commitment, but maybe it's not a commitment that you would consciously prefer, that you would consciously choose to do. So the cure for it, how to deal with it, it's you've got to recognize it. So the first thing is to recognize it for what it is and see how it's affecting you negatively. See how it's stopping you from taking risks in your life. See how it's stopping you from doing things that you want to do in your life. And also, like, if you see that with compassion, because you know what, you resist persists. So if you get angry with this part of you, you're going to be pushing it and it's going to push back. So you've got to look at yourself, that part of you that's afraid, look at it with compassion. See that inner child, that wounded child that's just scared and wants to stay safe. So it's not a part of you that wants to, do, it's all about safety. It's not about doing anything bad to yourself. That part of you just wants to stay safe. So recognize that and have compassion for itself. So what also recognize that the fear of commitment is a kind of addiction to focusing on what you don't want rather than what you do. So if you're afraid of commitment, you're really, really, really focusing, I don't want this, I don't want that, and you're not focusing on what you do want. So it's very difficult from that place to get something that you want, because all of your focus, all of your energy is on, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. And when you keep looking, it's like Tony Robbins, he uses the analogy of when you're driving a sports car, they train you not to look at the place you don't want to go. So not to look in the ditch. You got to keep focusing, keep your eyes on where you want to go. And it's the same in life. You got to focus on where you're going rather than where you don't want to go. So when you're afraid of commitment, your focus is always on the ditch, and that's where you're heading as a result. So see that it's a focus, a negative focus rather than a positive. The next thing you can do is focus on your needs and fulfilling your needs so that you can feel safe. This means like self-care. What are my needs right now? How can I feel safe? So make sure that your basic needs are met and that you feel safe. Like, go and look after yourself. Get things done that feel good. Make sure that you're looking after yourself, you have enough food, you're providing yourself with a healthy place to live, and that you feel good in yourself, that you're meditating, that you have some kind of practice that grounds you. And this one kind of connects to it. People who are afraid of commitment are generally afraid of feeling their feelings deeply. I know I had this one for a long time. I kind of numbed myself so that I couldn't feel anything. But unfortunately, I numbed myself so I couldn't feel the pain. But you can't numb the negative feelings without also numbing the positive feelings. So you can numb the pain, don't feel that, but you're also going to be numbing the positive feelings. You're also not going to be feeling those highs. You're not going to be feeling that intense pleasure that other people feel because you've numbed yourself. So when you numb the negatives, you also numb the positives. You also numb the positive emotions. So be aware of that and start connecting to your feelings. I have some meditations for that if you want to check them out. So all about connecting with your heart, connecting with your feelings, and feeling like it's safe to express them. It's safe for you to feel your feelings, that it's safe for you to reveal your feelings, to express your feelings. And then finally, my last tip is that you can start taking little committed actions. So make a list of things that you want and start focusing on those things. Make little commitments every day that are going to move you in that direction. This is how you shift the focus, so where fear of commitment is controlling your life, to actually committing to your life, to changing your life, and to making your life different. Rather than dreaming about being alive, you're living the dream. This is what we want this is what happens when we shift the fear of commitment and really commit to yourself, commit to creating the life that you want, and commit to living your purpose. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you want to leave some messages down below, I would love to hear them, some comments, if this makes any sense to you. And please also check out some of my videos that are meditations to connect with your feelings, to connect with your heart, so that you can be more you can commit more to yourself. And even the practice of deciding to do meditation for yourself, that is a positive commitment in itself and a positive commitment to change. So I encourage you guys all, commit rather than committing to on commitment even. Start committing to yourself. Start committing to making your purpose a reality. Start committing to the true authentic self, rather than denying that and committing to avoiding, not feeling, and being safe, which means that you can't move forward, you can't create new things in your life, you can't let the new things in when you're so focused on what you don't want. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will speak to you all very soon.